Make this video short and sweet. We've had a pretty good thaw these past couple days, and I've explained to you guys before with my chickens what we do is compost bedding, and it's supposed to keep, which I mean you can feel a substantial difference coming in here. It's supposed to keep the coop a little bit warmer in these, you know, shitty freezing conditions that we've had. All my chickens are happy. Right now they're just complaining because they want some fresh water. I don't see any eggs anywhere right at the moment, but it's still early. They usually don't start laying until about noon when it really starts to warm up. But I figured I'd just give you a little rundown about what I do when it's like this. I usually just take the top layer off, which last night I did right here. I'm going to try getting that corner all scooped out. That's all just chicken shit. And then see if I can put some more bedding over there. They do like to lay in that corner there. And then get the walls cleaned off and try to get some stuff cleaned up while it's thawed out. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. See if I can get you guys angled enough to really see anything that's going on. This doorway over here, this used to be a hog house. Eventually I'm going to put a smaller door in there. We're going to fence everything in around this where the hog house was. And we're going to have goats and pigs and whatnot in there. And I'm going to put another little shed out for them. But this will particularly be the chicken coop. So yeah, I'm going to get some of that cleaned out, get done some fresh water. And yeah, try to get a little bit of poop out of here so that way they're not getting all nastified. And no, my chickens are not insanely friendly. I can't pick them up and cuddle them, do any of that stuff. They're just chickens to me. But I still take care of them, make sure they have everything they need. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some of this here. It doesn't take too long to really, just to do what I'm doing. It takes me about, I don't know, 15 minutes or so to really get all the shit out of here. And what I do is in the very back of this, it's all just overgrowth and weeds and this and that, and that's why we wanted to get some goats back there, take care of some of that. I'm going to let them out now because it's a little bit drizzly, not terrible, but they'll like it because there's no wind and there's a little bit of overcast, even though they do like the sun. But with no wind, they're going to be happy out, kind of just doing their thing. So first, this laying box right here has had a big frozen freaking pile of shit on one side of it. I'm going to try scooping that out. Get that out of the way. And I'll come in with the big shovel and pick up the rest of it. The other half is nice clean bedding that I just put out. Because I did come through here with actual, or with a, like a paint multi-tool. And I scraped the shit out of one side of this so I could at least have a nice fluffy bedding area for them. Or laying area. And they really only like to lay in this one top box. I don't really know why, but that's just where they prefer to lay. So, get a little more of this shit cleaned out of here. I'll toss down that time. Get it in here. A bunch of little poopy in there that needs to come out. And I use the other this to push it through. The only other thing I need to do, which I should have done it a while ago, but the small chickens seem so comfortable, I have to get, in this little corner over here, some sort of a little perch for them. Because the little chickens are still just wanting to sit on the ground. They're getting big enough now where they should be roosting. So, and the problem is people see this and they automatically think that you're not taking care of your chickens. They don't realize that this is actually the warmest way to take care of them without putting a heat lamp in here. And everybody that's had chickens for a while knows there's two things that happen to the heat lamp. One, they get used to that heat, and if it happens to go out and it's a cold night, they can't adjust to it correctly, and a lot of them get sick and this, that, and everything. All of my chickens have been through every bit of weather we've had, especially this year, which has been terrible. And I've had no sick chickens. I've had a couple small ones that were just hatched that had some issues, but it had nothing to do with the weather. One of them had a really bad club foot, and I tried Epsom salts. I tried doing a whole bunch of stuff to take care of it, and it just wasn't happening, and eventually died. I put it by itself, and it didn't work out so well. But the rest of these guys are used to it, and seem to be thriving. I mean, I'm actually getting, for a while I wasn't getting very much egg production, and as of recently, what I did, which I probably should have done a long time ago, but I didn't realize that they made chicken feed with such high protein, which is just a novice part, you know, for me, is I started getting them this, I think it's called Pro Max layer feed. You can get it at Runnings. It's like 22% protein. Your typical layer is like 16 to 18%. And immediately after I started giving them that, they were starting to lay again. At least my mature hens were. My younger hens were still a little bit apprehensive about laying, which isn't a big deal. You know, I can deal with that. Because we're still, as of right now, we get enough eggs to feed our family, which is what I got the chickens for in the beginning. I didn't really get them to try to sell eggs or make any money or anything. And I really just started doing it just to get some good natural protein for my family and my kids. And then eventually, you got to the point where eggs got so expensive at the store, especially if you want to get anything organic, which my chicken's mainly free range even now. I mean, with the snow we had, which we had probably 20 to 24 inches of snow in front of their coop, they were still going out there digging down, finding rocks, flipping them over, getting grubs, this, that, and the other thing, and they were perfectly happy. Now, is that normal? I have no idea. Is it just a survival instinct? Probably. But as of right now, I am just gonna get the top layer of shit cleaned up here. And then what I'll do is I'll take a garden rake and I'll rake all this fresh bedding that I just put out, and I'll just rake it in with the compost. And then that's our watering dish. And then I will yeah, see, that's all still, that's good there. I don't want to clean up too much of that. I will I'm having a brain fart. Yeah, I'll mix all this up and then I'll put fresh bedding out, and it'll stay nice and toasty in here for them. I don't think we have very many more, you know, bone chilling days coming upon us. It looks like the weather, we have one day in the next like 2 or 3 weeks it's in the 20s. And other than that, it looks like it's in the 30s, and that's something that they're completely used to. I don't have to worry about it. And in the summertime, what I do is I fill this whole thing with, I'm having a brain fart, but I think they call it, like contractor sand or something along those lines. That's what this is actually bedded with. And then I take this, what I just made out of a cat scooper, and I go through and I just pick up each one of their turds, sift them out, and bam, they're good to go. And then I go through a lot less bedding. And they seem to like it because it gets kind of dusty in spots. And I'll put it really heavy in the corners, and then they can get themselves dust baths and stuff, and they seem to like it. So let me get the big shovel. I'll get some of this stuff out of here. They're dying to come in here because they think I got some treats for them right now, which I will in a little bit, but not right this minute. Oh. And see, that's the problem, is with the weather we've been having, getting shovelfuls like this is damn near impossible. Because, I mean, this shit, this mound of poop here was just solid as a fucking rock, so all I kept doing was putting bedding over it and just trying to keep them as comfortable as possible. That's really all I could do. And that's why it got so high, is because I was putting, you know, for every layer of shit that they'd lay, I'd put probably, I don't know, 3 inches of bedding on top of it. So this will be a lot better when it's all said and done. And I usually do in the summertime when I clean this out, I keep this for the garden. But right now I have so much snow, and our garden is, I don't know, probably 400 feet away from, well, no, probably 300 feet away from the chicken coop. That trying to wheelbarrow it over there in the snow. You know, if you think you can do it, good on you, but fuck off, I'm not doing it. Where I'm putting it's going to be perfectly fine, because once our goats get here, our weeds will be nice and hardy. Give them something to chew on. spade shovel out here in just a little bit. Try to take out just a little bit more of this. And this compost bedding is actually a pretty common thing for lots of animals. When I worked on a farm years ago, in our calf house, the walls were only about maybe 8 feet high, and the top 6 feet was all just open air. And this is exactly what they would have you do, is just scrape off the very top section of compost or poop, and then just put fresh bedding over the rest of it. And I usually don't put a ton of bedding in this corner. In general, just because of that. And you can see right here, that's all good fresh bedding right there, with just a thin layer of shit on top of it. And that's just what's been frozen on top of the bedding. So my chickens in no way, shape, or form have been suffering. And again, I can't see myself putting a heat lamp out here. And the more, I guess, pussy part of myself is that I don't want to see my coop burn down and my chickens die over trying to make it 10 degrees warmer in here, because I just don't think it's worth it. And it's pretty amazing because just having it the way it is, if you walk in here, if you first open that door in the morning, you can feel, and I've never actually tested it to see what type of temperature it is in here. I probably should, but you can feel a substantial difference in the temperature. And none of the chickens are shaking. Everybody seems happy and content. They all have their own little cliques right now. The young ones are hanging out with the young ones. The old ones are hanging out with the old ones. And that's usually how it is in the clucking order, until everybody just becomes buddies. And during this time, we always do extra treats throughout the winter. Give them every bit of scraps. The only thing we don't give them is chocolate, obviously, because they can't have it. But we give them, if we do tacos, we give them leftover taco meat, because we put a lot of red pepper in it. It's good for them. We give them tortillas. We give them whatever fruit we get from the store. My wife's been keeping a bowl, and any of the peels or the rinds, unless it's something real hardy, she'll put those in there, and we bring them out here to them, and they're in their absolute glory. So this video actually might end up being a little bit longer than I thought I was going to, so I apologize, but hopefully it'll be somewhat educational. I'm no professional. Everything that I'm doing, I actually have, we've pretty much since my kids were little, we've lived around Amish. And they've pretty much always taught us the exact same thing, so I'm gonna rake some of this up with a shovel. I've got my garden rake out here, which is okay. It's all still, yeah, it's not even packed down at all. The best thing about this is by the time spring comes, I will have, I don't know, probably damn near a ton of fertilizer for the garden. And surprisingly enough, it doesn't even stink. It just smells like mulch. So, alright. Let's put you guys down some more bedding. Now, I do keep the bedding right in here because I got a couple hens. I don't know which ones, but when I leave the bedding bag in here, I leave about a foot of room between the wall and the corner of the bedding bag, and they absolutely love to lay eggs back there. That's probably where I end up seeing, you'll see here, hopefully, if I can get my camera to, without tipping over on me, you fucker. And I will too leave big old blotches of bedding in here, because if anybody has chickens, you know they love to go and scratch through shit. So I'm going to kick around a little bit of this. And I'll probably leave that pile for them to do what they want to with. There, that'll leave them nice and comfy. They got plenty of food left in their feeder. And I have right now, I think 22 or 23 chickens. And that one feeder right there with the 3 feeding bays or heads on it, that seems to make everybody happy. So they all just take turns. Like I said, there's a clucking order. Anybody that has chickens knows that. You go through it. And at first it kind of sucks because you think that your chickens are getting bullied around, but which, you know, in a way they kind of are, but nothing that's gonna actually hurt anybody. They're just kind of plucking away at each other, doing their thing, just like any other animal species, I suppose. So yeah, they'll be happy once they come in here and they're able to kick that big chunk around. They'll have that all over the place soon. That's why I keep this door on here. Because it kind of helps keep some of it in. As you can see, because of me doing the compost bedding, it's kind of spilled out into the yard here a little bit, which I don't mind. Because eventually, this is just a chunk off the old coop. I was just trying something, but eventually I'm going to have this come out probably 15 feet. And it's going to go over about 30 and then back to the fence. And this is where I'm just going to have them all. Especially this time of year when I don't want the hawks to be getting after them. I'll put a little roof on it, and then they can have their little spot to do their thing. But yeah, I just toss everything right here. And this whole thing's fenced in. By probably midsummer, we'll have goats in there. They'll go in there and they'll eat down all the weeds. And I think when I do my shed, I'm going to build it right over there. It's not going to be huge. It'll probably be like, I don't know, 10 by 20. Just enough for a couple dwarf goats and a couple pigs to hang out in. And if I can't get them to get along, which I'd imagine they would growing up together, but I'll put a little separate paddock in there so that way I can keep the two separated. But yeah, they have about a half acre over here to mess around with, and eventually this will get expanded out a little bit further. But nothing too crazy. I want to bring it out to where, see if you guys can see it, because I can't freaking see shit right now. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So where my target is right there for our axes, that's about another 30 feet out. Then I'm going to go straight back to the end of the property and over. And that right there should give them, that'll be about 3/4 of an acre. And that'll be enough for them to do what they're going to do in. So right now they're outside enjoying a little bit of sunshine while we have it. Now I just got to be on hawk watch. I'm going to go inside and get in some fresh water, and that's pretty much how the compost bedding goes. If you guys have any ideas on a way to do it better, let me know. Any concerns you might have that I should have, let me know too. But as of right now, it's worked. Everybody's healthy and having fun. So, especially our little ones, they're still kind of friendly. So, alright guys, thanks.